The child's golden coat deviating from from the typical gray or white, and shared only by their ancestors who were treated as gods. As gods felt. Like a sign their prayers had been answered.
Huh.
They really seem to like no space hyphens in place of commas. Commas are what you wanted.
Probably.
You just wanted to break that off. You didn't.
I wonder if the new translation will fix that.
I can only hope, man. This translation needs some serious attention.
A little bit.
A bloodline in atrophy. The werewolves were forced to embrace change. This radiant child, at least temporarily, made them forget about their troubles. Alas, as time passed, their hopes turned to disappointment.
Because, he didn't magically stop the humans from taking over the Earth.
Yeah, the Golden Wolf was not, in fact, their salvation.
Yeah.
For some reason, Lu, that ray of golden sun, remained a child.
Oh, they thought he would, grow up into some mighty king or something?
Nope, he's just a kid.
Oh, wow, shit.
Decades passed, and still he did not grow.
Wow, alright.
Forever young, immortal, cursed. He searched the village for his birth mother, but to no avail. He had none.
Yeah.
He searched the village for someone who understood his plight, but to no avail. None of them were golden wolves from the age of the gods.
None of them were golden, and they all had mothers.
Over hundreds of years, he came to realize something.
Hundreds, and he's still a kid.
He was different. Very different. Neither male nor female.
Oh, really?
What? Okay.
No genitals?
Neither strong nor weak. I'm gonna have to disagree on that point. Ignorant of life and joy.
Life and death.
Yeah. Ignorant of life and death, joy and fear.
Yeah, he doesn't give birth to new life, and he can't die, so he's just separate from the whole cycle. And I guess he didn't really have much in the way of emotions, maybe?
You gotta start ignorant of life, nor known to death.
No.
These hands have never held. These hands have never held anything.
We're getting awful close there, yeah.
Hold on, you just started the Unlimited Blade Works chant thing. I'm not. Hold on. That thing's a spirit, born of nature. Might look like us werewolves, but don't let that fool you.
Yep. He is different.
But the child himself needed not conjecture to know his own true nature. He was perfect. And therefore, he was alone. But also, he owned everything.
He was actually a cat. I am perfect and I need no one.
To the Golden Wolf, the world was too small.
Oh.
That was why. Indeed, that was the very reason. He wanted to know what life was. He wants you to show him. He wanted to know loss. If he was all-powerful, he wanted to know the mystery behind his all-powerfulness. Because as it was, his existence was meaningless.
Yeah, because he couldn't grow or anything.
The Golden Wolf was at a loss, as were the werewolves around him. They revered him, but at the same time, they wanted nothing to do with him. Lu moved back to the cave he was discovered in and resigned himself to a life of seclusion.
太陽のルー？ルーガルじゃなくて？
Yeah. Lu Garo. Huh.
そりゃ面白い。偶然にしちゃできすぎだ。
Shouldn't she have still had long hair at this point?
Well, we can't actually see her at this point, but yeah.
But if her hair was long, we would see it silhouetted.
Might be tied up in a ponytail, I don't know.
And then one day, a quirky mage visited the village.
Touko-san はあれだよね。派手好きなくせに豆だよね。
From his place on top of the rubble, Bayo peered into the hallway. He thought his fussy master was busy dealing with Misaki City's ley lines, but she was engrossed in making traps. 1 month passed since they made the dilapidated building their makeshift workshop.
Well, yeah, about a month.
Creating a new trap for intruders became a daily pursuit of
安
Touko's.
全を用意しておくなんて他の生き物は大変だ。
Having been like this since birth, knowing neither infancy nor dotage, he thought differently than others. For he was perfect from the day he was born. Never declining, never improving, neither strong nor weak, unknown to life, nor known to death,
Yeah.
etc. As such, he had no comprehension of weakness. Childlike, fickle, and without morals, he had no concept of good and bad as either a human or a wolf. A beautiful creature disconnected from the world around him. He was on top of all other creatures.
Out of the things remaining in this world, I could see that.
And so he did Touko's bidding.
Well, he's following her for amusement, I guess.
With one exception. His master, Touko Aozaki, who was above him, apparently. And therefore, she was above all creatures in the world.
Well, I guess he accepted the contract to be her familiar for some reason.
Number 1 in all of Japan. You just stole Berserker's thing, Touko. How could you? It will be so sad.
I kind of think her could take Beowulf at this point.
Yeah, but apparently you couldn't take Aoko, because Aoko is above Beowulf, who is above all things.
We'll see.
Therefore, she is super god. She showed him a sparkling, delicious world, and above all, he found her scent refreshing.
Oh boy.
A sparkling, delicious world, i.e. anything that wasn't British cuisine.
Yeah.
Since, as we've established, Ireland doesn't exist, so he was clearly just eating British food.
Right.
To him, the world was divided into what was cool and what was not.
God damn, he really is a kid, isn't he?
Your preferences and leisure pursuits were of no consequence to him, and he never took gender into account. The only thing that mattered to him was whether a person's life was logical and therefore cool.
That's what he considers cool? I don't know.
Dude, let me tell you.
I don't need my shows to be cool, you know? Somebody show this kid Power Rangers or something.
Somebody show this kid, like, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and DBZ.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yu Yu
Hakusho,
yeah. Something. Give this kid some, like, imagination.
Hold on, none of those exist yet.
Oh, it's the 80s?
Dragon Ball. Yeah. Show this kid Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's got to exist.
At least the manga exists at this point, if not the original Dragon Ball anime. Astro Boy.
Yeah, there we go.
Astro Boy works.
Yeah, that's fun. Lupin the Third
Lupin,
exists.
yes, Lupin Sensei. You know,
damn, yeah.
Doraemon. No, that might
Cutie
be
Honey, I guess.
Maybe.
That was in the 70s, so that should exist.
But that wasn't exactly shonen, though, was it?
It was.
Was it?
Yeah, so quick note, that was Go Nagai, who did a bunch of super robot stuff, and she was one of the first shonen shows with a female protagonist. Because it was really, really unusual at the time.
Huh.
Yeah.
I know, like, literally nothing about it. I was just assuming from the name that it was some kind of, like, I don't know, shoujo magical girl.
Oh, no, she straight up stabs demons with a sword.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's awesome. And she transforms and stuff.
It is a magical girl.
Well, yeah, but still. So basically, you know Sailor Moon's transformation pen where she would disguise herself for no real reason?
Well,
just to, like, sneak into places and stuff?
It was for merchandising reasons, obviously.
Well, yeah, but it's also a reference to Cutie Honey. Usagi is apparently a fan, so she wanted to transform.
But Luna shat the pen out of her butt like she did everything else in Season 1. Reminder, for anyone that has not seen the original Sailor Moon anime, every piece of gear that any of the scouts are given in the first arc, Luna just poops out her butt.
It was like she jumps in the air and
does a flip, and then a thing appears basically out of her ass. It's incredible. I'm not kidding.
Forgot about that.
This is not a joke. I know it sounds like one, but it's not a joke. She shoves so much shit up there. A compact, a pen, 4 other pens, a communicator, like watches. Like,
oh man,
this cat has so much shit shoved up her rectum. It's insane. Touko Ozaki had her faults, but she smelled good, and that made her cool.
Okay.
Beo, 昼食は済ませたか?
You mean the bits of Aoko he took with him?
I hope that's not what he was eating.
Beo's master entered the classroom, presumably done with her traps for the day. Could we use a different word?
Spooky music.
Could we use a word that's not master for this?
Oh, yeah.
This is the Nasu verse. That has a different connotation.
Well, it's not capitalized.
It is not capitalized, that's true.
夜が本番だ。それまであまりハメを外すなよ。
Sometimes, like Naoshi would nag him, but on the whole, his master pleased him. Phrasing?
Yeah, let's just...
In reality, the contract binding her to him was not particularly powerful.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If he wanted to, he could tear her to pieces at any time.
Yeah, she can't really tame him.
No human could restrain him. He was perfect. However, he had no intention of killing Touko in exchange for his freedom. And there was no reason for this. In order to move about freely in human society, he needed someone like her. As long as she didn't offend him, he had no reason to rock the boat. However...
やっと本番か。待たせすぎだよ、トウコさん。
The promise she had made him in his cave and the reality of their situation had begun to come apart at the seams.
Oh? A promise, huh?
最高の神秘と戦わせてやる。
Ah.
He was compliant up to now, but his patience was wearing thin. The fight with the newest magician last night was an enormous letdown.
Yeah, that troll didn't get to do much.
私も昨日は拍子抜けだったんだから。
No, he meant Aoko.
Wow.
They dealt with Aoko
Yeah.
after Alice.
Yeah, I suppose so.
いいけどね。実はあの子使わないんじゃなくて。
Well, you are trying to make her do
Yeah,
sorcery things.
probably.
God damn it. God damn it.
Well, hang on. Let's see what her plan is here.
His master's expression turned serious. Not in agreement at the wolf's question, though. For she had already asked herself the same and many other similar questions.
いや、使うぐらいなら死んだ方がマシなのかもな。
That seems unlikely, but okay.
No, it's not that she can't, it's that she super doesn't want to. She'd rather die than do sorcery.
Maybe, yeah.
For some reason. God, I hate my sister.
そんなバカなことがあるの？使わないと死んじゃう状態だったの？
Pretty illogical.
だからそんなバカな考えが成立するぐらい。
Right, that just reinforces the point. She'd rather die than use it. That it must be too terrifying to use, Touko finished in her head. She stopped short of voicing it and chuckled at her emotional outburst.
どれほどのものか想像がつかないのは確かだ。だがまあ根本は変わらないさ。魔法がどのような奇跡神秘の類であれ、魔術師である以上、青子に勝ち目は
So
ない。
you don't actually know what your family's accomplishment is even, huh?
Well, I don't think anyone's accomplished it yet.
I don't know if it's been completed yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Their grandfather definitely was doing something in there. But I don't know how far he got.
Clearly he didn't finish it.
I guess.
Like, they must be close, you know, they
She
know
knows
Right.
they were close.
They know they're gonna get there, but, like,
Yeah.
they don't know what it is yet. That's interesting.
Yeah, she doesn't know what Aoko's gonna do.
With those words, Beo's master walked out of the room, emphasizing that his role in all this was to face Aoko only at that very moment.
魔法ね。
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we've been leading up to.
The bored look in his eyes shifted. He recalled the taste of that girl. His long tongue sliding over his chainsaw-like fangs.
Chainsaw?
Chainsaw. They literally rotate in his mouth at high speed. Make no mistake, he would finish his meal. She was delicious. He was the oldest werewolf. The golden god of the forest. Perfect from the day he was born. For as long as he could remember, no. From the moment he appeared, he had been the most powerful creature of all. Why did you end it with a comma?
No, from the moment he appeared, he had been the most
They
powerful.
didn't finish the hyphen.
Well, yeah, they're only using one, but...
Which makes it even more clear that that's remember no.
I know. I know.
Like, if you were doing it the way you should have been, or the way you have been, it would have been remember no from the moment he appeared.
I know, yeah, they're being inconsistent there.
Fucking pick a way to do it, god damn you! All man-made mystics were trash before him.
That does seem about right.
Magecraft was laughable, and mystic artificial miracle...
Mystic? Artificial... Like mystic codes, does he mean? Artificial miracles.
See, that time I legitimately thought that was hyphenated.
I know, I can't...
Mystic Artificial Miracles Witch. It wasn't apparently until I got to Miracles Witch.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
Wait, that's not a...
Oh, I did the same thing, but I wasn't reading out loud.
And Mystic Artificial Miracles Witch even surpassed that which were superfluous. Futile. Their very existence was an insult to him.
Huh.
もちろんそういう契約だしちゃんと平らげはするけれど
That was the extent of their pact. Once he dealt with this so-called...
True magic.
I had to read ahead and make sure that was supposed to be so-called.
Yeah.
With this so-called true magic, he was free. His eyes burned with the wolf inside of him. The wolf inside of you is on fire, or...
Does he have one wolf inside of him, or two?
His mangled maw twisting into a sadistic, beastly grin. Why is your maw mangled? Who mangled your maw? Who had the audacity to do that?
I guess his mouth is just twisted in a weird shape at the moment.
12 Witch on the Holy Night 2.
Chapter 12, Witch on the Holy Night 2.
It was just past 7 p.m.
Okay, yeah.
Misaki High School's old building stood silently. While light from the city reached the area, the forest and mountains kept the area hushed. Nothing unusual. During winter vacation, the old building, now still covered in yesterday's snow, was rarely used. Without signs of life, such unused structures were mere monuments of what once was, nothing more. The old school building would remain that way until the start of the new semester.
Were they gonna do something with that building in the new semester?
Yo, weren't they talking about, like, knocking it down or something?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna do something about it.
Behind it, the vast forest grew darker by the minute. I mean, they're either going to knock it down or they're going to turn it into, like, the club wing. And all the clubs have to go there.
Yeah, I think they were gonna demolish it.
If the building had died in just under 2 weeks of vacation, what had become of forest over the years?
Of the forest?
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted there.
I think that's what that
I'm
means.
desperately trying to...
Yeah, that was a weird sentence. Okay.
The wall of overgrown trees filtered out the noise of the city and most of the moonlight. An otherworldly realm had taken root not even 2 miles away from town. Piercing through the cold air, footsteps crunched through the powdery snow.
この辺りに仕掛けはなさそうね
Yeah, no traps
Aoko,
yet.
for some reason, put on her school uniform,
Yeah.
but not a coat,
I
to walk all the way from... Wait, you had to go home! You weren't wearing your school uniform. Where did you get your school uniform from?
Was she wearing that when they went out the first time?
No! She was dressed in her casual clothes.
Oh, maybe Alice brought some clothes over.
They didn't say anything about them bringing clothes when they left the house.
Oh.
But she would have had to go get clothes because her other ones were
torn to
destroyed.
shreds. Yeah.
So they left, walked home, so Aoko could change, at which point she decided to put on her school uniform and not take a coat. I guess her coat was probably destroyed.
Yeah, she might not have a coat anymore.
But Alice's coat should have a giant fucking hole in it.
Alice had a spare.
She's apparently. Alice just had a spare coat.
それでどうするの？このまま旧校舎に忍
Can
び
you
込む？
sneak in? I kind of doubt it.
まさか私らがやってきたことなんてとっくにバレてるわ。
Yep.
隠れても意味はないし、何より敵のアジトに入ってどうするのよ。
I mean, you
盗み
can
が目
launch a
的じゃないで
sneak
しょ、
attack,
今回は。
but she knows you're gonna be there, so...
In the words of Viral, sneak attack only works once.
I don't even think it worked once in this case.
Oh, it did for Touko.
Well, yeah, Touko did.
Well, that means the sneak attack has already worked. There are no more.
I suppose.
後ろから切りつけるのは強盗というのじゃなくて、
With that wolf there, there's no way you're not getting sensed.
それができれば苦労はないんだけどね。まあ、忍者の真似事は私というか、
Wow,
ア
healed
リスの
pretty
芸
quick,
風
it
じゃ
looks
ないで
like.
しょ。
Wait, she even took all her bandages off.
Yeah, the cast is probably gone, maybe.
そもそも。
Also, Alice, what are you doing here? You can't use magic at the moment.
Well,
Without exploding or whatever.
Moral support?
やる気満々なのはこっちもあっちも同じってこ
Yeah,
と。
definitely.
The sound of their footsteps stopped in unison. The old, forgotten Misaki High School building stood before them. Clearly nobody's forgotten about it. Like,
Yeah, I know.
what used to be the schoolyard was now a barren snowscape. Reclaimed by the forest, the building looked like a shell of its former self. No, it looked exactly like its former self, just slightly more overgrown.
Yeah.
The surrounding trees resembled standing mourners at a funeral.
せっかちなお嬢さん方だ。タイムリミットまであと4時間はあるというのに。
Were they supposed to wait until right before the time limit? 4 hours ain't that long.
Alone in the middle of the white altar was the lone, scarred red mage. As she came out from the forest, Aoko lowered herself slightly, scowling at her distant target. Next to her, Alice stood motionless. You know, it's really amusing to me that obviously Aoko is associated with blue and
Yeah.
Touko is very clearly associated with red.
Yep.
And then when they were in Extra, they swapped them.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get that either.
Aoko was red and Touko was blue.
And-
Why? Why do that? The bare branches of the trees cast long, thorny shadows. Aoko was reminded of Sleeping Beauty, except this mage wasn't nearly as pleasant as the princess in that. And also she wasn't sleeping.
Right, yes.
Not to mention...
Okay.
And there was no prince.
So I guess just the branches, the thorny branches stretching out. Oh, does she mean like the Disney movie with the creepy branches?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, that might
but
actually be a movie reference.
Also, my god, I'm in this game's head.
Yeah, same wavelength.
Regardless, this princess came out of her schoolhouse castle to greet her challengers.
その体で無理をして。あなたのそういうところ、姉としてどうかと
Yeah,
思う
I'm
わ。
sure.
Oh, don't give me that shit when you put me in this condition, bitch.
Right.
Touko grinned faintly. Aoko fought back the urge to respond. Meanwhile, Alice stood in silence, uninterested in sibling rivalry. But here, nonetheless, for
Some reason.
moral support, I guess. Touko stood about 100 feet away. With their senses sharpened through magecraft and the silence of the forest, they could hear each other perfectly. The golden wolf was nowhere to be seen.
But clearly nearby, somewhere, waiting.
How is Alice sharpening her senses through magecraft? I don't understand. She's not supposed to be able to do that.
Maybe she... I don't know. Maybe she processed the stuff faster than we thought.
Touko faced the two girls alone. Alice's black overcoat and winter hat were typical items of clothing for a mage battle.
Were they?
Were they?
Maybe they're mystic codes? I don't know.
Ah, yes. Welcome to the beach for the summertime mage-off, where everyone is wearing black overcoats and winter hats, because it's the traditional mage battle attire.
I mean, to be fair, we bring some dumb outfits to battle in FGO.
I mean, listen, just because we're in the middle of fucking Siberia or whatever, and I'm trouncing around in a summer outfit.
Yeah. And Gudiko's
Just because
running around in booty shorts.
Because Gudiko is insane. She was literally driven mad by having the fate of humanity dumped on her shoulders twice.
Well, either that or was the gotcha salt. One of the two.
Oh, the gotcha salt didn't help, for sure. It was like, hey, by the way, you're the last hope for humanity because everything is burning and we need to fix it, and you're actually literally the only one left.
Yep.
And
your help is randomized.
Also, we can't give you any kind of guaranteed help. Good luck.
Pray to the ley lines.
And then you
bitch.
finally resolve that, and they're like, hey, by the way, you know how last time it was just like all of humanity was at threat of going extinct? Well, it turns out we stopped paying attention for 5 seconds, and humanity's gone.
And
all
it's
of
gone.
What do you mean? No, it's gone. Like, there's nothing left. Everything is just a bleached white surface.
Your parents, your siblings, your friends are all dead.
All of our friends, everyone we know and love who was not in Chaldea, who was not in Antarctica at the time, they all dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do about that? Nothing, but you're gonna fix it. Also, you're still getting randomized out. Fuck!
Now put on the swimsuit and go to Siberia.
Right? And of course, we finally get done with all that, and then the world's like, no, you can't come back, sorry. You used a beast one time. Get out.
God.
You know how you fixed everything? You broke the rules to do it, and therefore you can't come back. Also, we had it on lock. We were gonna fix it anyway. Don't worry.
Yeah, mage battles do be weird like that.
A few paces in front of her was Aoko, whose combat garb was comparatively out of place. Misaki High School, I'm glad we're addressing this.
Again, it's not really out of place. Especially in Nasu's works.
She had asked Alice to bring a change of clothes for her, but there must have been some misunderstanding.
Was there?
Though it was a trivial miscommunication, Touko seemed to think it had some special meaning.
ところで、始める前に一ついいか
Why are you in that outfit?
Why don't you have a
気に
coat?
なって仕方がないし、この先機会もないだろうから聞くんだけど。
Wow, you
あ
actually
な
are
た
just
の
gonna
戦
ask
闘
her.
服ってそれなの？青子。
Are you seriously fighting me in that?
Touko spoke clearly and, despite the distance, was able to communicate her deep-seated scorn without trouble. Aoko would rather attack than engage in small talk, but she decided to take the bait for some reason.
そんなわけないでしょ。今までこういう機会が多かっただけよ。数えるなら今日を含めて4回しかないわ。
But this is the first time I've fought you when you were wearing a schoolgirl outfit for some reason.
Well, I guess they had chances for her to make an appearance at those different sigils.
私はまだ現役だからそれも悪くはないかもしれないけど。いつか流行るでしょ、こういうのも。
Someday, someone's gonna fight an entire Grail War in school uniforms.
Yeah.
What's a Grail War? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Aoko was sure to emphasize her words.
I have to make her think this was intentional, and not because Alice didn't listen to me.
For a split second, Toko's eyes narrowed.
呆れたな。相変わらずのローセンスだ。
それはどうも。人形を実の妹に見立てる異常者にそう言われるなら、一周回って安心よ。
I just figured being cold from the thighs down would make it easier to focus.
Well, I mean, look at Toko's outfit. Her thighs have to be freezing too.
But she's got a long coat that goes down to her ankles.
It's something, but cold air.
Aoko, on the other hand, has some
know.
socks that maybe go like part way up her shins.
Yeah, maybe.
With that, the two fell silent and glared at each other. I mean, at least Touko's wearing a coat.
Yeah, that's true.
Aoko's just out here in a fucking school uniform.
Aoko doesn't have a coat anymore.
Their bloodlust cut through the thick, cold air like a knife. I mean, she could have at least... Like, Alice at least could have lent her the one that had a giant gash taken out of it. It would have been better than nothing. While the two of them sized each other up, Alice surveyed the area around Touko. Okay, cool. Had to make sure I was reading the right people there. There was no indication anyone or anything was lying in wait near her.
Please, I'm sure that wolf can move fast enough that it's, doesn't matter how far away he is.
Perhaps she should see if the werewolf was still in the old school building.
Please don't go into the building looking for that thing.
Maybe Touko didn't feel like Aoko and Alice were much of a threat in their injured state. Well, you honestly
probably aren't.
You honestly weren't much of a threat in your, healthy state.
Right.
And, well, I mean, Alice was a threat to Touko, but not a threat in general because she had a hard counter. And now Alice can't even use Magecraft, so good luck. Or was she really not expecting a counterattack so early so the werewolf wasn't ready?
What, is he still napping?
After some contemplation, Alice surmised it was the former. She really was going to fight alone. Her arsenal comprised her Mystic Eyes and Rune Magecraft. Was comprised of...
Yeah.
That was more than enough to deal with Aoko and Alice in their current state.
Alice, all I need is one shot. Guessing that's...
Aoko signaled to Alice behind her with the movement of her finger.
I see, a little hand signal.
Alice had no objections. The original plan was for her to keep the werewolf busy. How? With the mirror as a backup, Aoko was hoping to catch Touko off guard.
The mirror? Oh, wait, from back home?
They had a few other cards up their sleeves, but the fact remained that as mages, their attacks wouldn't affect the werewolf.
Nope.
So they decided to ignore it and focus on taking out Touko.
And then hope they didn't get mauled
And then
to
hope
death.
that once Touko was dead, the werewolf would just get bored and leave.
Right.
Instead of killing them anyways.
Yeah.
Not the best strategy, but it was all they had.
Yep.
But they'd been thrown a curveball. Touko had the upper hand, so she was reluctant to use the beast. Aoko wasn't about to let this opportunity go to waste. By distracting her with sibling banter, she would settle things before the werewolf even showed up.
じゃあ今度はこっちの番ね。どう？結界の張り直しは進んでる？
まさか昨日の今日よ。まだ手をつけてもいない。せいてはことを仕損じる。だいたい私の目的は霊脈の奥にあるもので、結界そのものじゃない。張り直しは予定にないさ。
I just want the mana. I don't plan to stay here.
God, you're just gonna let the field stay down? Shit.
まあ、土地を暴くなんて面倒な真似をするより、お前を暴いた方が早いのかもしれないが。
やっぱりそれが目的だったのね。ならなおのこと。あんたを魔法使いにするわけにはいかない。
Yeah, so you are aware of that and what she's trying to do then.
Aoko's blue eyes burned brightly with a fiery fighting spirit. Even though her sister was ready to pounce, Touko remained motionless but for her mouth, which twisted into a smirk.
魔法使いか。確かにまだ執着はあるね。私には移植されなかった魔術刻印と青崎の伝える魔法の正体。
Yeah, okay. So you're both aware that the family somehow has access to true magic.
だがも
Or
うい
is
い。
about to.
惜しくはあるが、到達すればどちらも自分で用意できる。
I'm not sure that's true.
I think Well, like taking them from Aoko, I guess. Huh.
それとも今ここで私のために魔法の正体を見せてくれるのかい青子
Touko's words came out flatly, but her eyes mocked her sister. It was true, however, that if Aoko wanted to defeat Touko, her best chance would be to use this mysterious true magic.
Yeah.
The only problem was that she couldn't.
Okay.
If she could, she would have used it to avoid getting mauled last night.
Okay, so so Toko's idea that Aoko simply didn't want to and would rather die wasn't true.
Aoko Aozaki couldn't use true magic.
Yeah.
Touko believed she needed to fulfill some kind of condition. The protection their grandfather placed on the formula was to prohibit miracles from being easily realized. However, that wasn't because he was concerned about the human world. It was no exaggeration to say he'd feel nothing if magic leveled the entire city.
Damn. Yeah, he's a mage, all right.
Truth was, true magic never had any conditions. Aoko was being held back by trauma.
Oh.
These 5 privileges, the only powers of their kind, were bound by cognitive seals. That's why Touko looked down on her naive little sister. So weak. A body incapable of handling magic could be cut down with a mere sword. Aoko knew that better than anyone else, which is why she couldn't forgive her sister's ridicule. Just try using true magic, huh? A pathetic taunt. If that was how she wanted to play, then so be it.
お望みとあらばね。
Oh.
With a burst of pure rage, Aoko made her move. Her colorless shoes sped across the untainted snowfield. Pretty sure they're not colorless.
Yeah, I know. I'm confused. Do they mean white?
Like a stone skipping across the wall. Also, why would she have her... Why would she have her school shoes?
Are they? Well, I don't know.
Like, surely she would have had her outdoor shoes. Not her, like, school...
I don't know.
As Aoko charged forward, she disappeared. Only her footprints advanced, like bullet holes in the snow. Touko held her ground. Concealment was elementary magecraft. More than likely, the power came from one of Alice's trinkets.
Ah, okay.
It was a simple yet effective countermeasure to Mystic Eyes.
Yeah, just be hard to see.
Touko's Mystic Eyes used the lock property to bind an opponent. It didn't have the Logos property to discern truth through an illusion.
Oh, well.
Once a magecraft's workings were revealed, its weakness was exposed. Boy, the more they make it, the more they talk about it, the more Sharingan just sounds like the most busted Mystic Eyes in the history of the Nasu.
Right? Yeah.
Like, oh, what's that? I can, like, bind people by throwing them into Genjutsu, and I
Yeah.
can, like,
Summon
discern
fire.
truth from illusion because I can just see shit.
I can copy any technique I see. Yeah. It gets a little ridiculous.
I can, like, warp shit into different dimensions, possibly.
Oh,
or-
yeah, there was a teleportation one, wasn't there?
Yeah, that was Kakashi and Obito's one.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was, strictly speaking, Obito's one.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Kakashi got
Yeah,
because
his
of
other
reasons.
eye, yeah.
足癖が悪いのも変わらず
Yeah, she's being a little reckless. but-
Unless that's a feint to make you think it's the same sloppy footwork, and she's
Right.
actually, like, 4D chessing you.
We'll see.
In a mere 4 seconds, her opponent had closed 10 yards and was still speeding up. It appeared she'd given up on a mage battle and was going to move in for melee. The other girl, Alice Kwanji, didn't take a single step.
被弾覚悟の特攻アリスから5歩でももらっているのでしょうけど反省なさい青
Well,
子切り
if
札
she's
という
there.
ものはあくまで自己の力によるものを言う
Sneering, Touko raised her left arm, holding it out in front of her, threateningly. I've pointed my arm at you! Ha! Take that!
I mean, when it can fire energy blasts, yeah, it's a bit of a threat.
Stop!
Yes. Stop, you violated the law.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Yeah.
10 more yards. Unfortunately, her footprints gave away her position.
そう
Oh.
Touko began engraving a rune in the air. But before she could finish, Aoko's footprints stopped. She was still too far away for close combat. What a strange place to end her attack.
She might have jumped.
Oh wait, could she really stop so suddenly at that speed?
飛んだか
Yep.
Touko made a snap decision. She quickly raised her outstretched arm toward the sky as if saluting the moon.
Alright.
添える
Oh, look.
Flames tore through the air. The rune carved into the body above her, bathing it in a pillar of flames. No internal resistance spell could help. None. Ever. Rather than simply burning their target, the runes wrapped them in a wreath of flame. The assailant screamed, falling onto the snow-covered ground in feathers, which is suspicious.
Yeah.
In agony, she extended a burning hand out from the hellish fire, as if begging for mercy. It was the stuff of nightmares. The snow melted as the fire burned the attacker alive.
Yep.
Chirp, chirp. The movement was far too theatrical to be Aoko.
Yeah.
Touko had already turned her gaze to Alice. She hadn't been watching the burning corpse at all. Touko knew it wasn't Aoko from the moment the body fell to the ground.
ラインスターの使い魔は何匹いる
Irritated, Touko glanced at Alice. While Aoko had vanished into thin air, she hadn't moved at all. Blue energy traced a circle around where she stood. It was Force to Fourth, a 4-bar Grand Magecraft, mobilizing her magic crest.
Force to fourth. Huh.
Touko only had single action runes.
Oh.
No, she hadn't mastered anything above 2 bars to begin with. This torrent of energy was too much to handle.
Really?
えい言わず
Yeah, so she only knows more simple magecraft, huh? Well, as far as active spells go.
The rune formed in the magic circle. The rune of withdrawal was evoked and Aoko's concealment was undone, allowing Touko to utilize her mystic eyes.
Shield time?
Within her opened pupil, the infinitely mirrored eyes captured their target in an endless hell.
Look.
But the mage's sight was literally split in two. The space in front of Aoko distorted, obscuring her form like an icy mist. If Touko's eye was like opposing mirrors, then this was like sticking a one-way mirror at the triangulation point.
Huh.
With her vision split in two, she couldn't lock on to Aoko.
護水の鏡の
Yeah,
効果
you
よ
let Alice see that technique already.
青子は鏡の Y 字路の奥にいる一本道から見ているあなたに中心は見渡せない
And she's charging up.
Alice explained without concern. Due to the herb Touko made Alice swallow, she was still unable to use her own magecraft.
Okay, but she can still, yeah.
However, she could use ploys already in motion without using magical energy, such as the mansion's mirror and the aimless little blue bird.
Alright.
Finally, the magic bullet was loaded.
セットルートディレクトカーラント
Raising her right arm to reveal her luminescent crests, Aoko took aim at her target 100 feet ahead. Magical energy coursed through her gun barrel arm. From the see, that should have been hyphenated.
Yeah, gun barrel. Well, no. I don't think gun barrel usually is.
No, but like gun barrel arm, that should have all been hyphenated.
Maybe. I don't know.
From the moment she'd received Alice's invisibility, Aoko had begun chanting her magecraft.
Yep. The whole thing was just buying time.
It took Touko a few seconds to notice. Aoko produced more spins in the awakened magic circuits than she had ever done before. She readied not snap, nor draw. Instead, she advanced past her third process, a compression of magical energy. Magic blow.
Okay.
What a dumb name.
Yeah, that's not the best.
So she fired the blue ether that gathered before her. It would fly with the force of 10 tons.
Ow.
Using her magic crest to multiply the energy and machine gun her target. It was enough power to demolish even the old building behind her.
Well, that would get the wolf's attention.
Aoko stared intensely at her sister, ready to fire. Touko had no time to counterattack, or even the speed to evade.
Yeah, she probably isn't, like, super active in her fighting style.
The fact she didn't move implied she knew that better than anyone. Acceptance filled her eyes, not fear. Aoko didn't hesitate. She squeezed the trigger on her right hand.
Tour plan Star Mine, I think?
The last word came out like a scream. Did it? It didn't sound like a scream.
Well, Aoko was louder that one.
Under the impact of the ether, the surrounding snow melted and flew around. Ame, ame! Touko was engulfed in dirt.
As the ground all around her just exploded, I'm guessing.
Aoko had missed. No way she could survive Aoko's magic bullet. It contained every bit of Aoko's magical energy she could muster. Viewing the chaos, Aoko confirmed her victory.
Uh-huh.
And yet, somehow she felt bitter. But then, choosing to deal with the torrent of magical energy she swallowed up later, Touko tutted at Aoko's childishness. Her disappointment was so deep it bordered on despair.
学ぶにしては遅すぎたが、まあ聞いておけ青子。
Is that flowers?
Big sister's gonna teach you how to mage. First, let me introduce you to this fancy flower-based shield. I call it Roias.
Oh, no.
切り札というものは先に出した方の負けなんだよ。